Okay, everybody, thank you for bearing with me an extra day. I've been so sick, and I still am, actually. But I'm going to record my Doctor Who Reality War review. This is the end of an era, as we now get a break in Doctor Who, despite the announcement. Everybody knows that Billie Piper's the next Doctor at this point. Just hyper cringy fanfic tier writing to tack that on to the end of the episode. And there are really two parts to the episode. There's the episode itself, and then there's the tacked-on ending, which was very obviously reshot, redone multiple times, and extremely slow at the end. It reminds me of the end of Star Trek Discovery, that a couple years ago they had Star Trek Discovery. They had the last episode of the season filmed, and then they got the news they were being canceled, and so they just tacked on this like 20, 30-minute ending on top of it to make it feel like it's complete. And that's exactly what happened here. Now, Russell T Davies really went full bore into identity politics, virtue signaling, and everything in this two-parter, and this is the second of a two-part. You can't really stand alone so much on this. If you watched it without watching the first part of this, you'd be completely lost as to what's going on. But let's get into this review in just a moment, as reality's broken because of the Ronnie, and it's all magic. It's all magic now. That's the new Doctor Who, I guess. So please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things science fiction. I am a professional science fiction writer with over 20 books to my name, and I've won awards in the field. I appreciate you guys for being here. This is my Arishan War right here. This is a trilogy, which is a wonderful, wonderful space opera. If you enjoy aliens fighting like a big action-packed adventure with some great deep characters like Doctor Who used to be, I think you'll really enjoy this. It is in the description below. It's available on ebook, print, and audio, so if you've got Audible credits at the beginning of the month, you can read the whole trilogy on audiobook. For those credits, I appreciate you guys being there and appreciate you checking out our science fiction. If you like my thoughts, please check out my work, guys. It's so important to support independent works. We have a uphill battle competing against things like the BBC and the like, but I appreciate you guys all for reading. It's in the description below, as I said. So yes, this one, the Doctor's in this life where it's wrong. It's wrong. And the message is, if you have noticed about what's wrong, is his straight, married with children life with a white picket fence, with a perfect house, goes to a job, has a wage every day, 9 to 5. That's wrong, and you need to doubt it, right? That's the weird message they were trying to communicate here, that, obviously Russell T Davies wants to fight against normalcy on behalf of his weird degeneracy. Now, they screwed up on every single level on this, like even trying to impart that message, and that's been the part of all of like this weird couple of seasons of Doctor Who that didn't make any sense. Even going back to Space Babies, yes, you guys remember that one. The Space Babies one had a situation where he then had to make an abortion message into it, but at the same time, the entire thing ended up being really pro-life accidentally because he wanted to save the baby. And this is the same thing. There's actually leftists on on X right now criticizing this episode, saying this whole thing, like, he's really willing to upend reality just to save one baby. It's like a pro-life right-wing message. What's going on with Doctor Who? I was like, wow. So even though they were trying to, and Russell T Davies actually said he wanted a pro-abortion message, an anti-Trumpism whatever message with Space Babies and the like, even though they're going for that, and even though they've got the life of the straight thing, a person with a job is a bad thing, it undermines itself because it doesn't make any sense. Why would that life be bad? And then when he doubts, the doubt actually feeds the Ronnie and feeds her machine to bring back Omega. And much like Sutek last year, Omega is just this like CGI monster thingy that has to be shut out and pushed back into its like nether dimension, and that's that, and that's the whole deal. So all the thematic stuff on this just didn't work, and in fact conveys the opposite message of what Russell T Davies was trying to convey, which is really, really funny. And it just goes to show, I really think these people are so insane, they don't even realize what they're doing. And I think Russell T Davies especially has suffered from very lazy writing, where, especially in this episode, it feels like let's throw everything in the kitchen sink in it and just like see what comes out the other. Now we're at Unit, and now the guy from the other episode's back, and now the Space Babies gets a reference, and now Ruby Sunday's back, and now Belinda's back, and now the Ronnie's back, and now Omega's back, and now the Christmas special that you didn't watch, now that's tied into it as well. It's all tied in, right? And in trying to tie everything in so much, none of it made any sense. And so there's a lot of problems with just like everything that worked with this one. Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. It's so tough. But yes, tying in this sort of thing where this all went through, and then he rips off his clothes to wear a dress to show his queerness to save the day. I mean, it's so cringy. It's so bad. It's like it makes you roll your eyes so badly at this level when you get into this stuff. And units fighting space lasers at these like dinosaur bones in the sky. It's there's a lot of cool visuals to this. I will give them there's a lot of cool visuals to this. Now, all of this is based on a quote wish world, and so like everything was wished into existence. And then again, the weird part is, Gatwa and Belinda have a baby in this, and he's supposed to. And even though Time Lords are supposed to be sterile, they keep saying, which is weird because again, David Tennant had the Doctor's daughter made from him, so technically they can make replications of themselves in a way, I guess. But let's forget continuity because there is no continuity that matters anymore. It's all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey after all. And so they go back and want to save the baby. At the end of the thing after they've already defeated the Ronnie and Omega pretty quickly. And without much deal. Now there was a big message in this. They had Ruby Sunday's little like boyfriend who was the doubter from the episode a couple of weeks ago, where he is a YouTube streamer who's trying to cast doubt upon Doctor Who. Right? I mean, it was so cringy, the attack on audience on that level. Now he's a white male, of course, and he's mad at everything, and so he acts as the Ronnie's propagandist in this one. So it's like, oh gosh. So he's the evil propagandist now, right? And so with this, you've got like that going on, and Ruby goes and makes a wish for him to be happy and to be where he belongs. And so he ends up being this like low-wagey dishwasher at a restaurant, and he forgets everything, and he's like a minimum wage guy because he's such a loser, right? Sorry about that. I'm still sick pretty badly. And so that of course was the message again. Over and over, it's like 50 different messages about those evil toxic fans and the toxic white males and all this stuff. So they try to get the baby, and the baby is a wish, and it's not real. And so they put him in this like universe box that's like away from the universe to try to save them. They come out again, and with that, it's like then the baby disappears later and they forget about it, and Ruby Sunday is the only one who doesn't forget about it, and she convinces everybody that it's real, and the Doctor goes to reset reality by using his regeneration energy. And this is where it gets even cringier because this was a reshoot that was done afterwards. When he goes and does that, the ultimate message, Jodie Whittaker shows up and gives her solidarity with him. Now, by the way, crossing those time streams and showing up together like that, Christopher Eccleston said, established in the rules like that you cannot go back in your own time stream and do that kind of thing, or it just kind of implodes reality by itself, and in a negative way. And so ignores that here, that there's no rules anymore. It's all magic now. It's timey-wimey. And they use that word again just to, member berries everything. Everything has to be tied in, right? And so he goes, oh, I was the best Doctor. And then she goes, no, you're the best male Doctor. I'm dead serious. This is such bad dialogue because you have to go and do this, and obviously they want to signal that these are, quote, the best Doctors just to really rub it in your face. It's like when they had the transgender Rose in the 60th anniversary special that they said, you're a beautiful woman, such a beautiful young girl, over and over and over again, even though that's a dude. Like, they're telling the audience, these are the best Doctors. You should respect these. It's really, this is amateurish level writing I've never seen, because if you have to tell an audience this is a great character, obviously it's not a great character. That's like number one rule of writing is show, don't tell. And so you're rolling your eyes at this as she comes back, violates continuity because this doesn't make any sense, suddenly is here, and then Jodie Whittaker reveals she's really a lesbian as the Doctor as well, just to make it extra gay, and then leaves. And there was no point to it. No point to that at all, except to virtue signal, these are the two that are being oppressed and attacked by those white males again, right? So this is kind of like where, like, again, the episode's already ended. The Ronnie thing and all that ended like 10 minutes prior to all this happening. And this was then tacked on. And then there's a scene with Belinda and the doctor back in the real reality. And it turns out Belinda's now got a child who is hers, and reality's reset. And she's just a single mom who just like got abandoned by a black guy, I guess. in another oops, we went so woke. we messed up the message again. And so Gatwa just laughs at it and says he wishes he could have a child, and he couldn't, and very, very weird. And then he goes back, and then he just like regenerates for no reason. And I'm just like, why is he regenerating for no reason? There's nothing that happened that caused this. It doesn't make any sense. And he does, and we all know what happens then. So this feels like two tacked on episodes. Like I said, this last 20 minutes was very slow. A lot of like, denouement, then false denouement, then denouement again. This was paced so terribly, and it felt like the episode was over. And it's like, why is this still continuing? Like I said, much like Star Trek Discovery's ending, that they found out they were going to have an ending later, so they tacked it on pretty poorly. It's exactly what happened here. It's such a jumbled mess. Too much going on. He tried to tie everything in just cringy ways, just so that it would go boom, 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 and so much would be happening so much fast that you don't have time to analyze it. And that seems to be the what they tried to do here. It's like if maybe if we put so much into it, you won't be able to analyze it. But I could still analyze it in a 10-minute video because I can. I'm magic. It's magic, like the Ronnie. And it was all done with magic. Again, this isn't a science fiction show anymore. Like a baby. Like you get near the baby and then make a wish. It was very weird. That was the whole situation where everything could unravel because it doesn't make any sense. And that of course ties back to Ruby Sunday's origin, where she's a baby and she was getting stolen, taken from reality. It all tied in. So too much tying in, too much going on. And they tried to push like the anti-white, anti-straight agenda so hard that it was like, oh my gosh. And then, of course, that we get the reveal, the great Billy Piper reveal, which is now, I guess, deleted off this Doctor Who official account. They posted it at one point, but what happened? Where is it? Here's him with his dress, regenerating, and saying he had such a great time as the Doctor. Oops. we know the actor didn't. And so he becomes Billy Piper, in a way that, of course, doesn't make any sense. And I already covered that in another video of just why that's so cringy. But we'll see. I mean, Disney's ended now. And I don't know that they're going to renew their investment. We have the war between the land and the sea. So if you cared about Unit, I guess, you get this like mini series now that follows Unit. That's going to be really painful to watch. And then there's the promise of Billy Piper. But nothing's been filming yet. Nothing's solidified yet, so we're going to wait a couple years before that even happens, which is pretty interesting because you get this like these massive breaks in between seasons of Doctor Who, and it's causing problems. And this was terrible, terrible ending for a terrible show. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Thanks for bearing with my sickness, guys. Appreciate you. Hit the like and subscribe button. Check out my books. We'll be back soon.